So, a couple of days ago, we saw Caitlin Clark be very not happy about a comparison that was made by Reggie Miller. Like, Reggie Miller legitimately compared Caitlin Clark to Payton Pritchard. Comparing Caitlin Clark to Payton Pritchard, which is a wild comparison, by the way. A wild...
Look at that reaction. Caitlin Clark just saw herself get compared to Payton Pritchard by NBA legend Reggie Miller. And she is not having it. Not even a little bit. This isn't playful disagreement. This is genuine frustration from someone who's tired of lazy comparisons that don't make basketball sense. And her response? She took it straight to social media in the most Caitlin Clark way possible.
So Caitlin Clark, obviously, buzzer beater. Payton Pritchard goes and hits a first quarter buzzer beater against the Dallas Mavericks. And yeah, Caitlin Clark immediately responds to a Payton Pritchard post with a bunch of emojis. It's like, someone needs to take your phone. The comparison, Reggie Miller looking pretty good right now. In terms of impact women's game versus his in the men's, it's a horrible comp. That being said, you could do worse than someone who's done a lot less than primetime P. It's like, well, Caitlin Clark is taller than Payton Pritchard. I think that's kind of... they're probably close to the same height. Yeah. This was the response when Caitlin Clark got compared to Payton Pritchard.
So here's what actually happened. Payton Pritchard hits a first quarter buzzer beater against the Dallas Mavericks. Standard NBA highlight. But then Caitlin Clark immediately responds to Pritchard's post with a string of emojis, clearly poking fun at the comparison Reggie Miller made. The internet exploded. Some people thought it made Miller look smart. Most people recognized it for what it was. Caitlin sarcastically highlighting just how ridiculous the comparison actually is. Because let's be real about something. Payton Pritchard is a solid NBA role player. He's a good shooter, decent playmaker, contributes to winning basketball. But comparing him to Caitlin Clark, who just finished one of the most efficient rookie seasons by a 20-point-per-game scorer in WNBA history, is lazy analysis at best.
Obviously, Caitlin Clark is going out of her way to make a joke about it. Obviously, not happy at all about it. And to be honest, why would she be? Why would she be? I don't think, again, it's even, like, it's not even accurate. That's the worst part about it. Like, if Payton Pritchard and Caitlin Clark were identical to each other, like, I think if you're comparing her to LaMelo, it's LaMelo's a lot closer. And even when it comes down to it, LaMelo Ball is LaMelo Ball as a comparison isn't great, because LaMelo Ball is fucking nuts with the ball in his hands. Like, a higher IQ LaMelo Ball is a better example. Is genuinely a better example.
And this gets to the heart of a bigger problem with how people talk about Caitlin Clark. The Steph Curry comparison became so overused that analysts started reaching for alternatives without actually watching how she plays. Payton Pritchard shoots threes and runs pick and roll. You know who else does that? About half the guards in professional basketball. If you're going to compare Caitlin to an NBA player, LaMelo Ball makes infinitely more sense. The passing vision, the court awareness, the willingness to take heat-check threes from 30 feet. Even then, it's not perfect, because LaMelo has way more turnovers and lower basketball IQ. But at least you're in the right neighborhood stylistically. The Pritchard comparison? That tells me you haven't actually studied Caitlin's game. You just know she shoots from deep and you needed a name that wasn't Steph Curry. That's not analysis. That's filling airtime.
Yeah, look, it is what it is. So, you obviously have the response. They killed me. They said Caitlin Clark has no personality. I was burst out laughing in the middle of my gig. Just the funniest way Caitlin could have addressed the whole thing. You know what? It probably is. People try to say she's not the face of the league. She has no personality. And she proves every day she's the funniest person alive. Like, I also do stand by that. I don't think she's no Sid Colson. Like, I'm going to be honest here. She's no Sid Colson. By no means is she a Sid Colson. She's not. I'm just trying to think in terms of, like, you know, the top personalities. I don't think she's quite as good as Aaliyah Boston.
Now, here's where this gets interesting from a personality standpoint. The immediate reaction from fans was that Caitlin has no chill, that she's too sensitive about comparisons. But everyone who's actually spent time around her says the exact opposite. Her teammates at Indiana have consistently said the same thing. Caitlin Clark does not take anything in life seriously. Not in a bad way. In a healthy way. Think about what she's dealt with in her rookie season. Constant scrutiny. Physical play that bordered on targeting. Debates about her value that got genuinely nasty. Pressure that would break most 22-year-olds. And she handled it by cracking jokes. By not letting any of it get under her skin. By showing up to practice and making her teammates laugh. That emoji response to Pritchard? That's not sensitivity. That's someone with enough confidence to publicly mock a comparison made by an NBA Hall of Famer. That takes a specific kind of personality.
He's damn good at it. And again, Caitlin Clark just does not take, and that's from what we've heard. It does seem like Caitlin Clark does not take anything in life seriously. Like, it is one of those things where like, she doesn't take anything at all seriously in life. And that being said, like, if she's not taking things seriously, that helps with everything. It helps with everything. It helps with public perception. It helps with her dealing with a bunch of the crap. Like, let's be real. If Caitlin Clark took herself too seriously, then she would have broken by now. Let's be completely honest. Like, she would have absolutely broken by now, and that's fine. Like, that's the way it happens, and that's how you kind of have to deal with it when you're in her position, is that you have to be able to joke about things.
And the players noticed. When Caitlin first joined the Fever, there was obvious tension. You had veterans who'd been grinding in the league for years, suddenly dealing with a rookie who brought more media attention than the entire franchise had seen in a decade. That could have gone badly. Rookies who take themselves too seriously in that situation get frozen out. But according to every account from inside that locker room, Caitlin's sense of humor is what broke the ice. During those brutal early games under Chrissy Sides, when the team was running lineups that made no sense and losing winnable games, Caitlin kept things light. She made fun of herself. She made fun of the situations they found themselves in. And that built chemistry. Here's the thing about Chrissy Sides that doesn't get talked about enough. She was actually a good morale coach. The players genuinely liked her as a person. But you can like someone and still not respect their basketball mind. And when you've got Kelsey Mitchell, who played at Ohio State, Aaliyah Boston, who played for Dawn Staley at South Carolina, Melissa Smith, who played for Kim Mulkey at Baylor, and Caitlin, who played for Lisa Bluder at Iowa, then suddenly you're playing for Chrissy Sides. The gap in basketball IQ is noticeable.
Unserious. She's got a sense of humor. I think every single person, that's all the players were like, but they all said it even about Caitlin Clark. The players, they were like, when she first came into the team, it was one thing. But they were like, when she got, it was from every account, it was like all those games that Chrissy Sides had them playing, that the players realized just how funny Caitlin Clark was. And that kind of helped her, helped team building. And I will always, by the way, always credit Chrissy Sides that she was a very good morale coach. I think not one of those players, not only one of those players liked her as a basketball coach, and I think I don't think they respected her as a person. I don't think they respected her as a basketball coach, as a basketball mind. Like, you had the star.
But back to the comparison issue, because this matters beyond just one social media exchange. The problem with lazy Caitlin Clark comparisons is that they reveal how many people talk about her without actually watching her play. You hear things like she's never been efficient in her career, when she literally just posted one of the most efficient 20-point-per-game seasons by a rookie guard in WNBA history. You hear she's just a shooter when her assist numbers and court vision are elite. The Payton Pritchard comparison falls into this same category. It's surface level. 3-point shooter, decent passer, plays winning basketball. Check the boxes, make the comparison, move on. Except it completely misses what makes Caitlin special. The degree of difficulty on her shot. The way she manipulates defenses with her gravity. The basketball IQ that lets her make reads most players can't see.
Temi had played all over the world, and I played for Cheryl Reeve. Caitlin played for Lisa Bluder. Kelsey Mitchell was at Ohio State. And whatever about Kelsey Mitchell. Then you had Melissa Smith, who played for Mulkey, and Aaliyah Boston, who played for what's her name? Dawn Staley. Kayleigh Samuelson played for Gino. And then they get to the league, and it's like, it's Chrissy Sides. It's Chrissy sides. But yeah, look, this is all just an interesting scenario. It's funny. And look, Caitlin Clark not taking herself seriously at all is the best thing for this. Like, I stand by this again. If Caitlin Clark took everything in life as seriously as everybody else does, like, she would have probably broken. Because let's be real, there's a lot of shit when you're like, oh dear God, like what the hell is going on?
And here's what makes the whole situation even funnier. The internet immediately started debating whether Caitlin was being serious or joking. Some people thought she was genuinely endorsing the comparison. Others recognized the sarcasm immediately. That split reaction tells you something about how different audiences perceive her. The people who watch her regularly, who follow the fever, who actually pay attention to WNBA basketball, they got the joke instantly. Of course she's mocking the comparison. Of course she thinks it's ridiculous. The people who only see headlines and viral moments, they took it at face value because they don't have the context to understand her personality. This is the challenge of being the face of a league that's still building its audience. Half the people talking about you don't actually know you. They know the version of you that exists in highlight clips and debate show segments. And that version is always going to be incomplete.
I tweeted it out and people were like, oh, if Caitlin doesn't care, why does anyone care? It's like, well, that's not the be-all and end-all of everything. But it was like basically the complaining that I can't even, like, it was basically just complaining that all the players that keep reposting the Caitlin Clark hate page on Instagram that pretends to be like pro women's sports. And it's like, well, if there was a page that they deem problematic for the other side and they're pro Caitlin and Caitlin posted it would cause World War III, and if people like Caitlin doesn't care, it's like, yeah, I know she doesn't care. But I also don't think Caitlin Clark is scrolling on fucking Twitter every day looking at random people tweeting unless she's there laughing at it, which, if we're being real, could very well be the case, and just finds all this discourse hilarious. So anyway, yeah, that is a video.
So where does this leave us? With a perfect example of why Caitlin Clark's personality is actually one of her biggest strengths. Because here's the reality. If she took everything seriously, if she let every bad take and lazy comparison get under her skin, she would have broken by now. The pressure she's under is not normal. The scrutiny is not normal. The expectations are not normal. But her response is to laugh about it, to post emojis mocking Hall of Fame analysts, to show up, play basketball, and not let any of the noise change who she is. That's not lack of seriousness. That's emotional intelligence. That's understanding that the only way to survive being the most talked about player in your league is to not take the talking too seriously. And honestly, that's probably the biggest difference between her and any NBA comparison you want to make. Because most NBA players in her position would be on social media arguing, or having their agents issue statements, or getting genuinely bothered by the discourse. Caitlin just keeps it moving. She jokes about it and gets back to work. The Payton Pritchard comparison is lazy. The LaMelo Ball comparison is closer but still not quite right. The Steph Curry comparison is overused but at least makes stylistic sense. But here's the truth. Maybe we should stop trying to find a perfect NBA comparison for Caitlin Clark, and just let her be Caitlin Clark. Because the constant need to compare her to men's players, even with good intentions, kind of misses the point. She's not the women's version of anybody. She's just the best version of herself. And if Reggie Miller wants to compare her to role players, she's going to keep responding with emojis and letting her play do the talking. Because at the end of the day, she's got a sense of humor about all of this that most people in her position would never be able to maintain. That's not a weakness. That's exactly why she's built for this. So the next time you see a Caitlin Clark comparison that makes you do a double take, just remember she's probably already seen it, already laughed about it, and already moved on. While the rest of us are still arguing about it in the comments, that's the difference between being the story and being in control of your story. And Caitlin Clark figured that out faster than anyone expected.